specials.
Did you get to the point where you knew you were the best at stand-up anywhere, period?
No, I mean, that's subjective. Some people hate what I do. They don't like it. It's not their thing, you know. Plenty of people. It depends on who your favorite comedian is, you know. I'm some people's favorite comedian.
Yes.
And I think I'm as good at doing it, like in terms of like, I'm as good as anybody in terms of...
So you really can't compare stand-up, can you?
I don't think so. I think it's just as hard as comparing people, you know. And certainly artwork isn't really qualitative. I know a ton about stand-up. Yeah. And I know how to do it as well as anybody that exists. Yeah, by watching it and doing it over and over and over and over again. I've been on stage, I don't know, some millions of times probably in my life. It's a constant thing. And if I don't do it for like 2 weeks, when I go back, I'm not as good again. I have to, you got to gear up.
Other than being a father,
are
you happiest on stage?
It's hard to say. I do love, I love being on stage. I love shooting things. I love being on a set and shooting. I love the feeling of exhaustion at the end of it, long a lot of work, and feeling like walking away from. There were days I walked away from Horace and Pete. I used to walk home every day. Yeah. And I'd go, damn, I was a home run today. Like I felt like I hit a home run. That was a good feeling. I'm happiest sometimes when I'm out on a beach or in the water, you know, or out in nature. I don't know. Those are hard to compare. Those are all big happies. But being a dad is the best.
I think it was a New Yorker that said comedians are populist.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Who says the same thing to you? No.
Yeah, I guess we talk like other people, you know. We don't talk like the New Yorker.
You don't talk down to them, yeah.
No, we talk like other people
And that's part of it, isn't it? So they identify.
I think so, yeah.
They identify with you.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, that's where I learned it, just from talking. And that's when I'm able to be a little more social, I come up with more material.
Is what makes you laugh what makes the audience laugh?
Yeah, sometimes, but I'm working really hard for their laugh, so I'm usually not laughing.
Is that it? You're working it. I mean, this is
it's hard work.
This is hard work.
It's fun as hell, but it's hard.
Yeah, but when they laugh, and when you know it's so genuine, that's payoff time.
Oh yeah, I love that feeling. Sure.
Yeah. And it makes you better.
Sure.
To feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does cringeworthy mean?
I don't know. That's a new word. It's
what is it?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess that people are talking about things that make you go, oh my God, that's cringing, right?
Yeah, I think that's what they mean. Yeah, but
to me, that territory, cringe is it's repelling away from something, so it's like an area you don't want to think about. I don't want to think about that. To me, it's fun to take a deep breath, which is the opposite of a cringe.
Yes.
And walk in there.
That's exactly right.
And see what's in there.
Yes.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
That's the essence of you.
I think so.
It really is.
Look, if you can make people take a whole zone of their thinking that they're scared of, and you can make them take a breath and go in there and then have a good time, I think that's positive.
I think it was GQ who said there's nothing he can't and won't demystify or de-sentimentalize. Take the sentiment out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a worthy thing to try to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean,
but comedy can make us think about things in a different way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Comedy can make a
think about things in a different way.
Yeah, sure.
Just where we're talking about.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a compact humans have always made. We want to be able to laugh about stuff that's upsetting us. It's part of it. And then everybody gets upset sometimes, and they all go, "How could we make such jokes? This is a terrible thing." But in the end, we always choose the humor. That's why comedy's always stayed in there. Once in a while, everybody says this is wrong to talk about these things, and you shouldn't joke about bad things or hurting things. And we all clang a bell because that's part of the process. And I accept that. That's okay to people do that because it's part of it. You say that to yourself once in a while because it lets you off the hook. I tweeted to everybody that I thought that joke was inappropriate. And then later you can laugh at a joke that's inappropriate. You know, I mean, that way you get to have both ways.
Yeah. But are there places you will not go?
Only if it's not funny or if it's boring.
But that's it.
Yeah, or somebody else has been there heavily. Then I won't go there usually because it's boring. Yeah, it's only if it's boring. But I don't. I remember saying one time that saying that a joke is too awful, saying that something is too terrible to joke about, is like saying that a disease is too terrible to try to cure it. I mean, that's what you do with awful things. You joke about them. That's how you get through it. It's how you survive life.
It's the only way you can talk about it.
Yeah, so to say that's so terrible, I can't joke about it, that's totally counterintuitive to me. It's like, if it's that awful, you better start joking about it. Because that's how human beings
And where is truth in comedy?
It's not always there. I think lying is an effective way to get laughs. Lying, yes.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, sure. Lying is like magic.
If lying,
there's so
if it
many
takes
lies.
lying, then let's lie.
That's right. There's so many lies in my act. I have so many stories that I really convince them that it's true, and that's why they're laughing. It's like, this really happened, man. And that makes them laugh because I'm sharing something. But it's riddled with lies. In the details, in the where I say it happened, how many of each thing there. I lie all the time just to make stories interesting. You know, up all the numbers, all the stats in a joke. Yeah. See, forget it, man.
I'm not sure I'm disappointed in this or not.
You wouldn't want to hear an honest version of my acts. It'd be really bland.
Because it makes it more powerful, more interesting, more compelling, more surprising, more exciting.
That's right. Yeah, more funnier.
Yeah. But I'm still surprised that jokes, I mean, where does it start? I mean, is it just an idea? I wonder if. And then.
Yeah, or like a moment like you live. It's just, you know, jokes have different forms. There's observations, like I had this thing that happened. Yeah. Or this is what people are like. Or an absurd story. So sometimes the thing will happen and I'll go, that's a bit. Sometimes stuff is in my head for years before I recognize, why have I never talked about this on stage?
Give me an example of that.
Well, like there's a new bit I've been doing about when you're in an email fight and you write an email, you know, when you're emailing back and forth, which is really those long emails where you say, in June when I told you that I had this issue and you promised to be sensitive. Yes. You know, and you work on the email for a long time, like you're Beethoven and you're going deaf and you just do it. And then you send it to a friend and say, what do you think? And this is a new phenomenon. They write, then they do a draft of the email and they tell you, I would take this out because it seems a little excessive. So then you send it to somebody else who lets you put that back in. And you work on it for a long time with all this collaboration. And then you send it. And then you realize you left a sentence at the top that says, this is the latest draft, what do you think? And I've done that before, and I've had that humiliation of letting the person that you're in a real fight with know that you have writers, you have a team of people working on the email. Anyway, that's happened to me a number of times, and I've thought of it, and only about a week ago I thought, Jesus, I don't know why I haven't told that story on stage.
And now you will.
Yeah, I have been. I've been doing it on stage, and it's killing. If you air this,
well, you've been doing it on stage, and people love it, and they just because everybody does it. They can identify with it. They can feel it.
I found out that they have by telling the story.
Okay, but now take that, just that episode, that whole story. How are you shaping it and changing it and refining it and sculpting it?
Okay, so there's a bunch of places in there to work on it, right? Like there's the thing about, you know, when I say email fight, it's the difference between a text fight. A text fight is like, you know, screw you, whoop, screw you, whoop, I hate you, whoop, I hate you too, whoop. That's texting. That's how we talk there.
That's how we talk.
An email fight, the first laugh is always when I say, when I wrote you in June, and somehow people just know what that means. And I described all of that stuff. So all the little details will get bigger and bigger. And I'll find more and more little things in it.
You're not going to tell me whether you're going to do another episode, another series of Louis. You don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, but what will make the difference again?
If I crash into it as the thing I'm really dying to do again. I have to be wanting to do it. I didn't want to make a show because there's a show and I have to keep doing it. That's not a great reason to make a show.
Especially if you're you.
Yeah, I think so. I think I can't honestly keep making episodes of that show just because it was doing well and it's there. I did it as long as I could because I was very grateful to the people that gave me the show, because I'm not the only person. I'm like the center of, like, there's all these people and then these people. And I'm in here. So all these people that I work for that gave me the shot, I wanted to pay them off as long as I could. And once we were getting Emmys and stuff, that means a lot to them. So I milked that as long as I could. And it's all the people that work for me that make a living working on my show. It was very hard to tell them, you're all fired. And then tell all these people, I quit. That was very hard to do. That's a lot of pressure.
And how did you get up the nerve to do it?
I didn't have a choice. I did it when I finally was like, I can't do this. So, and also because I still work for these guys. I make a bunch of, I make Zach's show, I make Pamela's show.
Exactly.
And then these people all work with me now in Horace and Pete, and they'll work elsewhere. But in between each thing, there's like a, what? Where'd it go?
Would you have any interest in building a kind of just a creative factory?
It's kind of what my company is, Pigoo.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah, we make a lot of stuff. We're making an animated show now with Albert Brooks. We make Pamela Adlon's show, Better Things. Zach Galifianakis' show, Baskets. That's a big hit. And Tig Notaro's show on Amazon. So we make a lot of shows. Yeah.